Bonds are a type of fixed income security that represents a loan from an investor to a borrower, usually a corporation or government entity. When you buy a bond, you are effectively lending money to the issuer of the bond, who promises to pay back the face value of the bond at a future date, known as the maturity date, along with regular interest payments. Bonds can be issued by a variety of entities, including corporations, municipalities, and national governments. The interest rate on a bond, known as the coupon rate, is determined by the issuer and depends on factors such as creditworthiness, prevailing interest rates, and the length of time until maturity. Corporations, municipalities, and national governments are three different types of entities that can issue bonds to raise capital. Corporations. A corporation is a legal entity that is owned by shareholders and is run by a board of directors. Corporations issue bonds to raise money for various purposes, such as financing new projects or expanding their operations. Corporate bonds are typically considered riskier than government bonds because they are subject to default risk, the risk that the corporation will not be able to repay the bond's principal and interest payments. Municipalities. A municipality is a local government entity that can issue bonds to finance projects such as schools, highways, and other public infrastructure. Municipal bonds are generally considered less risky than corporate bonds, but riskier than government bonds, as they are subject to default risk as well as interest rate risk and other market risks. National governments. National governments can also issue bonds to raise money for various purposes such as funding infrastructure projects or financing government programs. Government bonds are generally considered the safest type of bond because they are backed by the full faith and credit of the government issuer. However, government bonds can still be subject to interest rate risk and inflation risk, which can affect their market value.